Europa League
game. And then, I mean, I can't. Yeah, that's right. I can't say I'm confident for that. We'll speak on that next week. But yeah, so I mean, a quick summary. Last night, dog shit. What do you? Just a little passing comment. What do you think we need, and not just at Leicester, but going forward to try and string anything together?
It's a really good question. What I think Southampton need to try and string something together at this stage of the season, I think that they may need to get rid of the approach for tactical familiarity slightly and try and take the brakes off a little bit. What I mean by that is play the same back four and goalkeeper, if you so wish, Carl Peters, and play a settled back four, even if that means including Jan Bednarik, which I personally wouldn't do. Just play a settled back four. And then in front of them, have a midfield three with James Ward-Prowse, Romeo Lavia, and either Charlie Alcaraz or Ibrahim Diallo, which is maybe an unpopular shout, but Ibrahim Diallo's off-the-ball work is actually quite valuable. And if Charlie isn't ready yet, Ibra will step in. Then have a front three. Whether that's Kamaldeen, Onuachu, and Che Adams. A slightly different, asymmetrical shape. Just something that if the midfield is missed out, which it so often is because the fullbacks get under pressure and they have to lump it up. Onuachu's there, he nods it down, and there are two runners off of him. There's two people causing carnage, and you just take the brakes off a little bit. You say defend, and get the ball up the pitch as quick as you can, and try and win set pieces for James Ward-Prowse. Because as sad as it is, that's probably the best way of scoring a goal right now is winning set pieces of James Ward-Prowse. But I feel this 4-2-2 right now. I just feel that it's not working with the players. They're not brave enough to go to they're courageous, they're brave, but they're not with it in the big moment. To go to a big stadium in a big match, draw 0-0 until the 70th minute, and then win it 1-0. There's so much more likely, as we've seen the whole season, to draw 0-0 to the 70th minute and then lose 1-0.
Yep. Yeah, far too often. I can't remember the numbers, but the amount of games we've lost
10 times this season, they've lost by 1 goal.
Yeah, by 1 goal, and then I think was it eight of them were 1-0 or something stupid like that. Something fucking ridiculous, just absurd. I completely agree with that. I don't think they're capable of playing that 4-2-2 as much as I've wanted it all season. And also all season I've been wanting to try things, bring on Orsic, bring on Aribo, bring on, but after seeing them in several games now, I don't think we know how to use them properly. Orsic is one of those, I think he's going to take time. He's not right now. And that's what we thought he was. And that's the disappointing thing, but he's not right now. Clearly not right.
I felt he found a lot of space yesterday as well, though. Orsic. I thought Orsic found a lot of space yesterday. I don't actually think he was as bad as people said he was, but clearly he didn't do anything, did he? So he can't be that good in the game, if that makes sense. But I felt he got into the right areas, and like you say, Aribo, nobody knows what Aribo's best position is. And it certainly isn't playing in the midfield 6, which is what they've tried a number of times this season.
No, clearly not. My thing is, if we're going to do anything, if we don't know how it works, don't do it. We need to know how shit's going to work, and that goes for people like Aribo. Unfortunately, he's going to have to sit it out, in my opinion, because we don't know how to use him. We don't. It's clear. It's not that he's a bad footballer, because we've seen he's not. Last season he scored in the Europa League final. He's a good footballer. We just don't know how to use him yet.
And maybe it is in that my mythical 4-3-3 that I've devised that may or may not ever happen. Maybe he's that third man. Maybe it's Kamaldeen, Onuachu, and it's Joe Aribo just floating and trying to be the guy who the ball falls to in the box. Maybe that's how you use him. Maybe you just say, do you know what? You're clearly not going to be the man that's, snapping position every single second. You're making the runs up and down the pitch. But if you just hover and try and cause an issue, you're a big lad. Defenders will try and mark you, even though we haven't seen anything in the air from him. They'll think, well, he's a huge guy. We need to get him out of the game. And he'll cause problems potentially. So maybe that's how you use him. But that's pure finger in the pie stuff, pie in the sky.
Well, possibly. We saw him last year play his best role in an attacking role for Rangers. So I don't know. Maybe whether we are have that in our heads to use that, or whether we're going to continue down the Adam Armstrong, Kumara route. I don't know. Probably knowing us, but like you say, I think if we don't know how it works, don't do it, and do the simple things. Defend with your life and attack quickly. We've missed that for a long time. I think it's as simple as that. Alfie, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on, mate. I know it's only been a quick one for yourself,
but apologies for that.
Don't be silly. It's always a pleasure to have you on. And yeah, hope to have you again, mate.
Will do, mate. Speak to you soon.
Yeah, that's the thought. That's the thoughts of Alfie. And he summed up Grimsby the same as we did effectively, but with a bit more of a professional head on than me. Who's a bit upset. And yeah, he previewed Leicester pretty well. So let's get our 2 pence about Leicester, Martin.
Yeah, we're two passionate fans that are really disappointed and despondent, aren't we?
Completely despondent. How are you feeling with regards to? It's actually going to be my old man's first game of the season. I said, "You're fucking mad for coming."
Bless him for coming.
Yeah, bless your little heart. But no, he's
Yeah.
we used to go all the time. But
It won't be pretty.
No,
Another televised game.
Yeah,
I don't see us getting anything out of it. We're going to have to show a lot more than we did last night. Our home form, played 10, won 1, drawn 3, and lost 7. The alarming thing that we could break a record at this weekend. So we want to show some passion and some commitment, because I'd be mortified if we lose this game, because, like I say, we could break a record. We'll winless at home in 5. We've lost the last 5. If we make it 6, that's a club league record in defeats in a row at home.
No, it's brilliant. It's just.
I think that's that really, really concerns me. So it would go in the history books if we lost at the weekend. But Leicester, they're an in and out side, aren't they? You never know what sort of side you're going to get from Leicester. They've got the 4th highest goal tally on the road, 21, and the 3rd highest goal scored, 28.
You're not feeling
so
great.
They score goals. Yeah, so they're the 4th highest scoring team in the league.
And unfortunately, to add to that, one of the main contributors to that is back at the weekend after missing 2 games with illness. James Maddison's back, so
yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
I know they've been missing a few, but they'll be looking to bounce back. Obviously, they've had a cup exit in the week. I believe it was Blackburn.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed like us.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed like us. But since losing 3-0 at St Mary's in 2017, they're unbeaten in the last 5 league games at St Mary's, Leicester.
Yeah, and we don't need to mention one of them, do we?
1-3, drawn 2.
Yeah. It's not.
Scored 18 goals in the process.
That's half of them in one game, yeah? That's
3.6 per game, by the way.
That's absurd, isn't it?
It's alarming.
Yeah. I mean,
Vardy's not scored. I can't remember any games Vardy's gone without scoring. I should have wrote the statistic down earlier, but
he's on
the gift that is Southampton at the moment.
Yeah, we're renowned, aren't we? We're renowned for giving people their confidence back. I can't see it being any different this weekend. I can't see it being any different. We were nuts enough to be reasonably positive in our predictions last time. I can't.
We all went for a win, all 3 of us.
I think all 3 of us did. Yeah. How foolish we were. Yeah, I can't see us doing anything. Have you got any hope at all? Or is there something you can give us to hang on to, or are you much the same?
I'm usually quite optimistic, and I try and look on the bright side. I go with my best mate, and he has this tendency to make bets at half time. He's been winning quite a bit recently. He's usually against us as well. He did. We sat with me with the Leeds game, and he placed a few quid and won some money because he thought we'd cave in, and inevitably we did. We need to look like we need to start trying to create chances and give our strikers a little bit of hope. I'm guessing that Adams isn't going to be fit. I don't think he
probably not.
I don't think he'd be fit. They were talking about 10 days, weren't they? I think it took him past this weekend, so there's no doubt that Tall Paul will play up front. Be interesting to see what the lineup's like, especially that back 4. Like you, I won't want to see Benderek in it. That's for sure. And hope that Sally's fit.
Yeah, Sally.
And he can come in.
Yeah, 100%.
Hope he's fit. Then Peru, he had a bad game against Grimsby. I thought he was dreadful. Will he start? Probably. I don't know whether Maitland-Niles may come in at right back, and
who was also
Walker Peters will switch and play left back. Maybe
Leeds. Maitland-Niles, I thought he was pretty poor against Leeds.
He turns his back on stuff and doesn't try sometimes. I think he's been a massive issue this season. Maitland-Niles.
He has. Although
good player, so much potential.
I know.
But he's on loan. Does it mean
against
anything?
Chelsea and Wolves? Actually, one of our best players, which is the frightening thing.
Yeah. He was brilliant at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Consistency in football was so important, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. We can't find any of it. I would love to see the inclusion of the lad who's just put Saints under 18s 3-1 up against Preston, Don Ballard.
Has he really?
Yeah, as Cammy Doyle's got 2 goals, who was, by the way, unlucky not to get on as well. But yeah, Don Ballard would be a great. I mean, for me, if Che Adams is injured, Adam Armstrong isn't being used as a 9. He's not a 9. Don Ballard.
He's really struggling, Adam Armstrong.
He is badly. He wasn't good against.
Really struggle. I think his confidence is voided. Like everyone's voided, which is a massive concern. But his is as low as anybody's. And I think even if we drop down, which we likely will, doesn't look like a player that's going to score any goals. I think he needs a fresh start. Don't you? It's probably time for him to move on.
It's sad, isn't it? Because when we signed him, I was very hopeful looking at the goals he'd scored. And he was one of those who I thought, well, if Che Adams, because he obviously season before he wasn't dreadful, but obviously he had Danny Ings next to him and whatnot. And when Armstrong signed, I thought he could be something here. You know, this guy is, I think, if I'm rightly so, he was the second highest goal scorer in all English divisions behind Ivan Toney when we signed him. His stats
amazing
spoke for
form.
themselves. He's a fantastic goal scorer, and it just went completely down the drain.
Scores on his debut at Goodison as well.
Brilliant
didn't he?
goal.
Scored a
Great
really good goal in his debut.
He sort of nicked almost like.
And then he didn't score again until like
right.
November.
Yeah,
he didn't score again until November, did he?
Was that against Villa?
Barren run.
It was Villa one.
Yeah, it was against Villa at home.
High volley, No, it's a shocking run. He just can't seem to string any confidence together. So yeah, I think it would be fantastic to see someone like Ballard on the bench to come on, because it'll give you something.
There's nothing to lose now, is there? Do you know what I mean? There's nothing to lose. Someone could be a hero. I remember one of the Great Escape season, we brought in a lad called Mickey Evans. Really raw talent from the lower leagues, real, like he wasn't a strong boy, quite lightweight, but he was quite pacey. And he just managed to get us a load of goals.
Yeah.
And his goals kept us up that season.
I've seen a lot, actually a lot about that season, and he was quite a big part of it in the end, wasn't he?
It's a massive part of it.
Where are we getting that from? I don't know.
But like the passion, the commitment, when I look back to those Great Escapes in the 90s, there was passion and commitment, and sometimes you didn't maybe have the best players, but they give their absolute all for the football club, like everything. The likes of Matt Oakley, born and bred down this neck of the woods, he give everything to wear the shirt, everything.
And
obviously have Franny.
Players like Beats,
Franny and
players like Beats,
Beats. I saw him last night, James Beattie, actually, and I had a nice conversation with him. It was good to see him because I've not seen him for many years, and he loves the football club. And he comes back and he's watched a lot of our games this season. And I said to him, like, we spoke about the season, he was like, "Oh, mate, there's still games left. We've got to, could turn it around." And mathematically, like he was saying, we're not out of it. I said, "But Beats, we don't have someone like you up front that can find the net and that's going to work really hard, got a good touch, and you'll get goals away." I remember that season we went down and Harry Redknapp sold him in that January transfer window. And he said he didn't want to go.
No,
he didn't want to go. He wanted to stay.
Yeah, there was a Rupert Lowe special, wasn't it? He said, "I needed."
Yeah, you would love a player like James Beattie.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. The thing is,
do you think that season
with a player like Beats as well, he was adored by all the clubs he played for. He just gave everything, didn't he? As a footballer, as a man, just got everything. And you just wish that you could have someone like that in your football team now. It's
always got time for everyone, James. He's a nice guy. And then that season we got relegated. We let a lot of goals in, but we did score a few. We had Henri Camara up front. He coming in the January window and scored goals. Peter Crouch was there.
Yeah,
Kevin Phillips. And then you look at what we've got now in attack and who scores goals. We just don't score goals.
There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. So
you talk about the young lad. Perhaps he scored some goals.
I think he would genuinely would put you out on if you was to play Don Ballard.
I know.
Yeah, if you was to play Don Ballard up against Che Adams for the rest of the season, I know he'd get more goals because Don Ballard's got nothing to lose. He's got absolutely everything to gain and nothing to lose. The lad would do everything to put the ball in the back of the net. And at this point we're at, who better? In my opinion, who better? And I know it might sound ludicrous to people thinking, "Oh, why would you put a kid in?" we're moaning about not having experience, but the experience we do have has let us down so badly. It doesn't look in any way that they're going to be able to turn that around. So I don't see what the harm in playing.
I wanted to touch on Charlie Alcaraz, actually. What are your thoughts been on Charlie Alcaraz, especially like the Grimsby game?
I thought he struggled last night. He did. He really struggled. I thought he was naive in possession. I thought he was too bullish in trying to win it, and he was sort of losing track of his own position, which is a shame because I actually really like him. I think what
he looked a real bright spark, didn't he, against Man City?
100%.
In the early rounds of the Carabao Cup, he looked really good, didn't he?
When he came on against Everton away, I said he was one of our better players after he come on because, and not many people sort of saw it, but I think Ward-Prowse had a shot from about 20 yards or so. The only person who followed it in was Alcaraz from deep. He was looking, and he got his goal against Wolves. I think Alcaraz is the scorer of one of the only open play goals we've had in however many games it is. It's absurd since the World Cup.
I think it was Ward-Prowse against Everton. I think it was the last.
That's it. He's the only. He's
first goal.
Probably the only other goal scorer, right? The only other goal scorer from open play, which is dismal. But he shows he's got it about him. I thought he was really unlucky to be dropped against Chelsea. But
he's been in and out of the side too much. So all of a sudden, his confidence is like getting a bit of a kick in.
100%.
This is what we seem to do to players, in and out of the side. We don't let's build the boy up. He looks a spark.
Yeah,
we bought him to help us keep us in the division.
I know.
And he's nowhere to be seen. Like I tell you, who we didn't touch upon was Orsic.
Yes, yeah, that's a good.
No, he's going to be nowhere near the squad, is he? He's going to be nowhere near the squad at the weekend.
No,
he looks void of confidence. You know, of a club taking a bid for him that he didn't want the club to take. Did he really want to come to England? Because he doesn't look like he wants to be here. Poor lad.
It's really hard, and
he's not settled, is he? I feel for him because he's not settled. And does he want to? Was it a move that he wanted?
Keep an eye on Mislav because I've been such a big this guy is unbelievable. The caliber he brings from the World Cup and from Europe and things like that. And I keep an eye on him quite closely. All I see on his Instagram, obviously, when he was left out against Brentford, he put that sort of book up on his story. You can't break me. In the week he posted a picture of his young son in a Dinamo Zagreb shirt at the Dinamo game, and I just think
they were at the game, weren't they? Yeah, I saw that.
I just think is he struggling? Is he really struggling? And watching him last night, actually, to be fair, in the first half, probably was one of the better players. He wasn't great, but he was trying to do things. Cutting in and shooting. Whether it was accurate or not is a different story. But I think he played better than Mara and Armstrong. I just don't think he's going to get a look in now. I agree. I don't think he is going to be in the squad.
I don't think he'll get a look in.
No.
I just think Alcaraz could be a spark and a lot. He was slated last night like everybody, but still think he's got a bit about him. He can still find a pass. And Ward-Prowse, Lavia and Alcaraz, you think, wait,
that should be
bad three.
That should be.
It's not a bad three, is it?
It should be really. I don't think there should be an excuse to put anybody else in that three. At all.
No.
From the start of the game, anyway. I don't think that. I think that is.
I don't want to see Diallo in there particularly.
No, I don't either. I don't mind Ibra when he comes on because he can. He is, and we say it so often, but he is really good out of possession actually. So he can calm the tempo of the game down when it's a bit erratic, but not from the start. I've never liked him as a starting footballer. Not
the goalkeeping situation will be interesting Saturday.
Yes, it will.
Whether Gavin will come back in or not, or stick with McCarthy. I like Alex. I think he's a decent guy, but I don't know, his body language sometimes. I thought,
yeah,
he looks so confident. He's not played a lot of games, has he?
Not at all.
No, he looks a bit edgy.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking to Alfie
from the injury, he's had a nasty injury.
Alfie's actually an advocate for putting Willie in. What do you reckon about Caballero? Would you be happy if you saw him starting against Leicester?
They don't see up until now. No one's had any confidence in the two understudies, which is alarming, isn't it? No, I don't. I think Calabaro's a decent guy, but maybe a bit too old. But I think he's a decent human being, decent professional, works hard. Yeah, he's is he going to be any worse than what we got at the moment? I just think again that Gavin's a young age. I think he's going to be a really, really good goalkeeper. I really like him. And he'd be a good player for Southampton, but it was a massive step from League One to come into the Premier League. And like we said at the start of the pod, it's a big ask. And maybe he'd take him out the firing line this weekend. It'd be interesting.
It will be. It will be. Do you dare to make a score prediction, please?
Yeah, I do. I will make a score prediction. I think we will score a goal, but I think we'll lose 4-1.
4-1.
That's my belief. I
like
think we'll lose 4-1.
Yeah, I was going to.
I think confidence is on the floor. I think last night the confidence on the floor in the Leeds game. I think we're done for this season, and and any pundit you hear, they feel we're going down, and I tend to agree. I think if we had a slimmer a chance, it was last weekend, wasn't it? We were so pleased with the Chelsea result going to Ellen Road, and the abject performance and result just doesn't fill me with any confidence at all.
I'm with you,
Josh.
I'm with you, and we keep on kicking the can of it's our biggest game of the season down the road to next week because we keep failing. The week before, I think we're
running out quickly.
100%. The only thing that's going to help us in any way, shape, or form is results around us. They went for us on Wednesday. They went for us last night with Everton taking a battering and Wolves losing against Liverpool. The problem is we have to get our points, and I don't think we're going to get them on Saturday. I think we're going to lose 2. I think it's going to be 2-0.
It'd be a minimum of 4 points from the next 2 to have any chance, a slimmer a chance.
Yeah, have to
really.
And that we got Leicester, then Man United away, and then after Man United we've got the Brentford. Yeah. And then after
Man United look on good form. They'd be pushing. They'd be pushing top 3, won't they? They're going to be thereabouts end of the season. If either of Arsenal or City slip, you'd think that they'd be there. They're rampant at home. Marcus Rashford's in incredible form.
Yeah,
they look a really good Casemiro. They've got so many good players, haven't they?
Yeah, and they're looking.
They will cause some serious problems. That midfield, well, you're obviously be talking about that on the pod next week, but
yeah, we will. Yeah.
There's some really tough games coming out.
It's horrible. I think we'll lose 2-0 against Leicester at the weekend. Confidence rock bottom for the next week's pod, which is always good.
You don't feel we're going to score, do you, at all?
I don't feel like we're going to score. I can't see where it's coming from.
I really want James Ward-Prowse to break the David Beckham record wearing a Southampton shirt because it might be the only nice thing to come out of this season. I'd love to see him do it. I think he will do it. And I've got a feeling he'd do it in a Southampton shirt because it would be incredible if he did. It'd be some achievement.
It would be.
I think he needs one to equal it, and
he's
2 to beat it.
He likes one against De Gea. I think De Gea and Ben Foster are the 2 that he scored 2.
You never know. He could go and break the record at Old Trafford at David Beckham's.
You just don't know.
Only Premier League club. Yeah,
you don't know. It would the headline would write itself for that one, wouldn't it? But we'll see. We'll check.
I'll be gutted to see him go, but I think he's been a great servant to our football club as a fan, and I think we're speaking for any fan. He's been a great servant, and he's given everything, and he's stuck with it. And he maybe had his head turned a couple of years ago, but no doubt, I know that there's not a relegation release clause in his contract, but there's clubs with big money, big offers will come in for him. And I heard a radio station today talking about James Ward-Prowse being in the Tottenham side, and it'd probably be worth 10 goals for Harry Kane, and I tend to agree.
Yeah, I think I heard the same thing. I won't name the station, but yeah, I think I heard the same thing as you, and I sadly agree too. Yeah. But yeah, let's I think get past a Leicester defeat at the weekend. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we're talking much happier this time next week, but it's hard to think like that. Thank you everybody for listening to that. Hopefully you don't need too much recuperation and therapy after listening to us go at you about our football club. Be sure to check
2 passionate fans.
Yeah, that's it. It's all opinions. We care, don't we? That's the problem. Be sure to check it out on Twitter, on Facebook. Just search Southampton Way Podcast. Go and give Martin a follow on his Instagram, his Twitter. If you love Saints, if you love football, if you love goalkeeping, if you just love all things about the sport, Martin is your man.
Thank you.
Absolutely, mate. And be sure to head over and check out Alfie's Twitter as well. If you want to keep up to date with Saints, any pre-match, post-match, press conference news, it's all there. Especially tomorrow, 10:30 p.m. He'll be posting posting the afters of the press conference from Ruben Selles. And as I said before, if you want to stay notified of when we are uploading a video, whether it be the pod or the previews, do subscribe, and it will notify you as soon as we upload. Thank you everybody for listening, and hopefully we are talking much more positively next week. See you later.